Squid Game. Unless you have been hiding under a rock, you know that Squid Game has taken over the world by storm. Debuting on September 17th, it has now been viewed by 111 million Netflix accounts, making it the most watched series launch in Netflix history. Squid Game has become a global phenomenon, and the numbers show it. According to Flix Patrol, a website that tracks streaming statistics for the top platforms in the world, the show is currently top 3 in 90 countries. So what are the reasons behind Squid Game's success? Number 1 would be persistence. Before I elaborate on this point, I just want to dispel a misconception that some people think that the director and creator of Squid Game, Hong Dong-yeok, just worked on Squid Game and nothing else for 10 years. This is actually not true. In 2009, when he was rejected by film producers and did not get the investment for the initial feature film back then, he just put Squid Game aside. He then went on to create 3 other movies that were successful in the meantime. Those movies include number 1, The Crucible, which came out in 2011 and became a box office hit in Korea, attracting more than 4.7 million viewers. Number 2 was the movie Miss Granny, which came out in 2014 and was at the top of the box office chart with more than 8.65 million admissions. And number 3 was The Fortress, which came out in 2017 and sold over 3.8 million tickets in Korea. So the idea of persistence comes in the form of Hong Dong-yeok continuing to work on his craft and honing his directing chops even though he was not working on Squid Game. This is no different than a YouTuber who would have vastly improved videos if he or she worked on creating videos for 10 years. The videos created 10 years ago versus now will be a night and day difference. This leads me to my next point. The second reason why Squid Game became successful was due to timing. Back in 2009, director Hung was rejected by film producers because they thought it was too bizarre and violent. They thought it would not be a money-making film, and because it was so violent, they thought there would be issues with ratings and that their target audience would shrink. Fast forward to the present day, the world is a vastly different place. Instead of utilizing traditional film producers in Korea, Squid Game utilized Netflix, which gave director Hung less restrictions and more creative input. He said he felt less pressure to conform to the requirements that traditional Korean film producers would have given him, and he could now create the film the way he envisioned it to be. The storyline is also even more relatable to people now. The series games that participants go crazy over align with the people's desire now to hit the jackpot with things like cryptocurrency and stocks, so many people have been able to emphasize with the story. Director Hung also said, quote, "Trump became the president of the United States, and I think he kind of resembles one of the VIPs in the Squid Game. It's almost like he's running a game show, not a country, like giving people horror." Next up, the third reason why they are successful is that Squid Game had a winning strategy for going global. First off, director Hung has said that when he was making Squid Game, he actually had a global audience in mind. Simplicity and easily relatable characters help connect the film to audiences globally. The children's games that are featured in the film are those that will bring out nostalgia from adults who actually play them as a kid. But they're also games that are really easy to grasp, so anyone watching from anywhere in the world can understand the rules of the game very easily. And since the games are so simple, the viewers don't need to focus on trying to understand the rules. They can instead focus on the inner feelings and the dynamics between the characters a lot more, and then they can get immersed into the whole experience, cheering for and emphasizing with the characters. Squid Game, choosing Netflix as a distributing partner, also helped them tremendously in reaching a global audience in an unprecedented manner. Before, with traditional film producers, when one country's filmmaker wanted to bring their film to another country, there was a lot of barriers with time and language. For example, for a Korean movie venturing into the US market, they had to go to film festivals and find a distributor in the US. This was way more time consuming and capital intensive. Netflix broke down those international barriers as they had the infrastructure for any good film to go global. For starters, Netflix is currently available in more than 190 countries. In addition, for their films, they offer subtitles in 37 languages and dubs in 34 languages, allowing those who would rather not read subtitles to enjoy it too. As director Hung has stated, quote, "A great advantage is that Squid Game was released simultaneously for all audiences around the world. That's why it was possible to get such an unimaginable response in a single week. It was a great decision to work with Netflix." And lastly, we arrive at the last point on why I believe Squid Game became so successful, and that is Squid Game relied on word of mouth and viral marketing to promote the film. Let's start off with word of mouth. So, Netflix did not heavily market Squid Game in the United States prior to its premiere. According to Netflix's global TV head, Bila Bajaria, she said there was hardly any marketing in the US outside of a trailer tailored to American audiences. Subscribers tweeted and TikToked about it, and it just grew through word of mouth, Bajaria says. She also says, quote, "People hear about it, people talk about it, people love it, and there's a very social aspect to that which does help grow the show outside of what we do." The show is a hot topic on social media, where the hashtag Squid Game on TikTok has been viewed more than 44 billion times. As you can imagine, countless memes have been made and shared. People have been parading the games from the series, like red light, green light, or they try to replicate the games on social media, such as the honeycomb candy challenge. The power of word of mouth and viral marketing is literally a cheat code because these two forms of marketing are arguably the strongest out there. People organically get introduced to the show instead of getting bombarded with the display advertisement. Think about it. You would be far more interested and intrigued by Squid Game if your close friend told you about Squid Game, or if you were shared a video of, let's say, a TikTok Squid Game challenge. So there you have it. These are my reasons why Squid Game became such a global phenomenon in a short amount of time. Please let me know in the comments below if there are any reasons that I may have missed. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.